that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object to the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Motor fuel tax dollars to DeWitt County have been frozen by the Illinois Department of Transportation, but local officials are optimistic the freeze will be temporary and those dollars should be accessible very soon. DeWitt County Board Chair Joe Whitty tells Regional Radio the issue stems back to December when the county received a notice about paperwork for various projects not being complete.
So we did receive a letter from the Illinois Department of Transportation back in December regarding, some incomplete project documentation for, a federally funded project. In that letter, they stated what was missing and what needed to be done to resolve that issue. And part of it was also indicating that, per statute, they have the ability to withhold federal funds or motor fuel funds if the projects are not closed out to their satisfaction. And so, we received that notification back in December and have been working with our county engineer to get these projects closed out to the Department of Transportation satisfaction.
According to Whitty, the temporary freeze has become an issue for DeWitt County Township Road Commissioners as they try to order supplies for this year's summer maintenance work.
All right, so the township road commissioners have been unable to use or access the MFT funds as well. That means delaying some purchases that they may need to do some of the maintenance later this summer. Expectation is that we're going to get these projects closed out within a week or so. And so this should not be a delay for too much longer. What it meant is that we have had a delay in the use of those funds, but our expectation is that that's going to be cleared up here this month. So hopefully no road work should be delayed. It's really beyond the next month or so.
Whitty admits one issue at play is the short-staffed nature of the county highway department. He indicates the county only employs its full-time engineer, Mark Mathon. However, 2 vacant positions remain. The county board recently took action to provide relief to Mathon in this circumstance.
Well, we have 2 positions that have been open for some time at the county highway department. We had assistant engineer position that we have been unable to fill, and we have a field technician position as well. With those positions remaining unfilled, it obviously means that there's a lot of work that's been falling to our county engineer, especially on the paperwork side of things. So what the county has done to try to fill that gap, what we approved at our last county board meeting was the opportunity for the engineer to engage a professional service agreement with another engineering firm to help with some of those items. We approved WHKS and Company. We have a professional services agreement and a task order approved so that as needed, the county engineer can engage their help to assist where permanent position might otherwise be able to help that, but we haven't been able to fill those. So this is to get some help in just to get us back ahead of the paperwork, get these issues closed out, and get that MFT unfrozen.
Whitty indicates the project most impacted by the freeze of the MFT dollars has been the repair of the Washington Street Bridge just outside of Clinton in rural DeWitt County, which has been out of commission for a couple of years now. A Central Illinois domestic abuse advocate is reporting a year-over-year decline in the reports of abuse. Andrea Coker is the Director of Services at Willow Tree Missions in Piatt County and indicates from last July to this July, her requests for services have decreased.
I am excited to say that our numbers are actually down from last year. Last year at this time, we had already helped 88 families. So there's a pretty significant decrease. Of course, there's lots of reasons on why that could be happening, but I'm hopeful that the reason is because there's not as much need. Maybe education's working, maybe not. There's a lot of reasons that it could be, but either way, our numbers are definitely down. So we're hopeful it's for good.
Coker indicates around June and July, they can typically see a spike in individuals coming to them for services, but at the halfway point of the calendar year, she says that's not been nearly as busy as years past.
So a lot of times we talk like nationally for several reasons. One, because they just have better data than we do, because we don't have a team of people to put together data for us, but also a little bit so that we can help try to keep people anonymous so that nobody can kind of figure out who somebody is. A lot of people will ask me for like examples of like, can you just tell me a story about what somebody's life might look like? And I really can't do that because I don't know who you know and what piece I'll say that kind of sets you off to know that person's situation and that they're getting help. And you may be really good friends with the other half and not even know that there's something going on. People ask me all the time, not because they want to know, like they don't necessarily want to know people's business. It's more, we're supported by the community financially. And so people kind of want to know what are the things we're seeing, what kind of needs are there out there. There's a general curiosity, especially whenever people are generously donating to us to keeping our doors open. So I can really understand the generosity or the expectation or the kind of need. And usually it's not maliciously at all. They're just curious and like, oh my gosh, kind of can't believe that's going on. Things like that.
Yeah.
Sure. All of that said, we're kind of halfway through, or we are exactly halfway through the year. I'm finishing up kind of the 6-month data points. And now that I've been here with Willow Tree for a full calendar year, a little more than 2 calendar years, but I kind of have like my own data of the way I keep it. So I have like some cool number stuff for them. So far in 2025, we at Willow Tree have helped 63 families, services from domestic violence. It's a lot. It's a lot of families. It's a lot of people. We keep hoping that people aren't going to need us.
Coker is optimistic the education they have been doing is starting to work. She is hopeful, though, that the awareness of the issue of domestic abuse is becoming more prominent.
Yeah, so I'm naively going to allow myself to believe a little bit that some of our education pieces are working. So one big one is people are just calling in and asking, hey, I think I might be getting involved with somebody, or there's some red flags in my new relationship. What are your thoughts? And I'm able to give people I've been able to give several people just some basic knowledge about domestic violence, things to watch for, what those kind of red flags are. I have no idea if that has altered their behaviors or not, but it's also new that people are asking the questions kind of on the forefront. Yeah. So I'm hopeful. We do a pretty large social media campaign, just providing information to the masses, things like that. I also know just people coming into our resale shop. So our resale shop shopping, number of people shopping is on the increase. And there's just general information available in our stores all the time that I'm hopeful people are getting their hands on as well. The reality is some of it could be that financially our country and our communities are in really tough spots. So I think it's possible people aren't reaching out for help because they don't know what that would look like to not have their partner's income. And the people are stretched thin. So the thought of making another decision or another change right now is a little overwhelming and a little too much to handle.
Coker is concerned the decrease could be due to people not calling in their issues. She says the summer can be a naturally slower time at Willow Tree Missions.
We do know that typically numbers are a little bit on the decline throughout the summer, or at least throughout the warm months. A lot of reasons why that is, but a big one is because people don't have to be stuck together. They don't have to be stuck in the house together. Victims have more opportunity for outlet in general. We do typically see increases in numbers starting in the late August, September to November, or October, November time. I'm interested to see how those trends go. A year ago, our June was action-packed, we'll say. Our June this month has been pretty steady, but not like it was last year. So I don't know if it was just interesting circumstances last year. I'm not sure. It's too hard to gauge. I have not had the opportunity to speak with other agencies kind of in this region to see what their numbers are looking like and what their trends are. We usually try to get together on that this time of year now that we kind of have some more data.
Interesting.
So I'm interested to see what their trends have been too.
For more information on all things Willow Tree Missions, visit willowtreemissions.org or find them on Facebook. Summertime road work repairs are underway in Lincoln, and one project is located in a historic part of the community, adding a layer of complication. Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch explains one major project takes place on Tremont Street between Union and Logan. He says the project will cost between $1 and $2 million, and the presence of historic homes is adding a layer of complexity.
I mean, we got everything going on. I mean, we do roads, curbs, gutters, all of that every year. We carve out a little bit of money. Our biggest project really is Tremont Street, and that's a $1 to $2 million project that will take care of a heavily traveled road in our community. It just happens to have some historically significant houses on there. So we've been having to work through the historical registry to ensure that we're following all those guidelines. So a lot of stuff going on. It's between Logan Street and Union Street. It's a complete resurface. Yeah, when we touch the surface, that means we got to touch the curbs and then all the ADA ramps and everything. So, once you touch the road, everything else is game.
There's a nostalgia for some Lincolnites over the brick road still present in parts of the community. While the construction will take place in a historic part of town, the mayor believes the roads do not have brick like others nearby.
I don't believe that there's brick on that particular road, at least exposed. I mean, it's in one of the older areas, and some of those adjacent streets do have brick, but I believe it's all a concrete surfaced road at this time, or pavement, I'm sorry. Well, we're funding it out of our money because the historical piece that's tied to it has really tied our hands with our Rebuild Illinois motor fuel tax money. So, yeah, I mean, we've had to make some adjustments. So we went ahead and we have used that money on other projects, and then we're going to use some of our money on the Tremont Street. It's basically just using a different funding.
The city of Lincoln is continuing to pursue improvements to 5th Street Road on the west side of town, a process that has gone excruciatingly slow. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Thursday. Plenty more to get to still on WHOW.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to Fiber Fast Internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. 2025 is shaping up to be another big year for tornadoes in Illinois. Following an outbreak on June 18th in the central part of the state, Illinois is now at 129 twisters for the year, says state climatologist Trent Ford.
We were coming into June tied for second in total tornadoes, tied with Missouri, actually. So it's been a pretty active year for them as well. Texas was number one, but that's not really all that fair because Texas is massive. So on a per square mile basis, Illinois was actually leading the country in tornado frequency. So it has been yet another very active year. And like you mentioned, June has not been slow when it comes to tornadoes as well. You mentioned that night where we had 14 across central Illinois, had a few others across southern Illinois as well.
Illinois is coming off a record year for tornadoes in 2024 when there were 142. Prior to last year, 2006 held the record for most tornadoes in Illinois with 125. Leaders from the Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office are reminding the public of fireworks safety ahead of the 4th of July weekend. According to J.C. Foltz, spokesperson for the Fire Marshal's Office, some fireworks can burn up to 1,200 degrees, which is hot enough to turn steel glowing red or leave significant burns. For those that are participating, Foltz says you need to follow simple guidelines.
Keep in mind, some municipalities don't even allow sparklers. Some of them don't even allow some of those types of what are called novelty fireworks to be used, even snappers and poppers, those types of things. Maybe consider glow sticks. I know kids love glow sticks, right? Every time you're out somewhere at a night parade or somewhere at a festival, they're always selling the glow sticks. Try those. The glow sticks are the best way to prevent any accident from occurring. And we talk about sparklers. They can burn in excess of 1,200 degrees. That's hot enough to melt some metals and turn steel glowing red. An instantaneous touch of a sparkler can leave that permanent scar or that permanent damage. And again, it may not be just a physical scar, that could also turn into an emotional scar. And according to the National Fire Protection Association, fireworks started an estimated 12,000 fires in 2021, including over 2,000 structure fires, over 300 vehicle fires, and nearly 10,000 outside and other fires. These fires caused 29 civilian injuries and $59 million in direct property damage. And unfortunately, last year in Illinois, we did lose a life from a fireworks accident, and we also had quite a few dismemberments as well. So keep that in mind. Leave the fireworks to the professionals. You don't need to use them. Approximately a fourth of all injured people suffered multiple injuries due to fireworks.
One simple efficiency is learned to, the Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office reports 45 Illinoisans were hospitalized in 2024 for 156 different firework-related injuries. Leaders say the majority of injuries are from mortars, Roman candles, bottle rockets, and sparklers. The price of electricity is expected to go up this summer, so Central and Southern Illinois' largest utility is offering some ideas to help cushion the blow. Ameren, Illinois spokesman Brian Bresch says if you decide to crank up the AC, try some other measures to keep it from working so hard.
So when I do that, I'm just mindful of other things, make sure that lights are off in other parts of the room. I keep the sun out. I know where the sun beats in the morning until about 4, so I keep the blinds closed to keep the heat out. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to help those energy costs.
The one simple efficiency is to learn to turn off TVs, computers, gaming consoles, and other electronics so that you may not leave on constantly. He also suggests using a programmable thermostat to control the temperature automatically. News time is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 46-year-old Daniel Lee Church of Maroa passed away June 30th at his family residence in Maroa. Graveside services for 46-year-old Daniel Lee Church will be at 3 p.m. Monday at Maroa Cemetery in Maroa. Calvert Funeral Home of Maroa is in charge of arrangements. Memorials can be directed to the Daniel Lee Church Memorial Fund. 87-year-old Marjorie Jane Gregory of Clinton passed away June 30th at her family residence in Clinton. Services for 87-year-old Marjorie Jane Gregory will be at 2 p.m. July 13th at Wapella Christian Church in Wapella, with Josh Gorey officiating. Private burial will be at Memorial Park Cemetery in Clinton. The visitation will be from 1 to 2 p.m. Sunday at the church. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with arrangements. Memorials can be made to the Wapella Christian Church. 27-year-old Nicholas Paul Ludwig of Clinton passed away June 29th at his residence in Clinton. A celebration of life for 27-year-old Nicholas Paul Ludwig will be at noon Wednesday, July 9th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Pastor Dan Michael officiating. The visitation will be from 10 a.m. to noon Wednesday at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the Nicholas Ludwig Memorial Fund in care of Bailey Ludwig. 29-year-old Shay Stevenson Smith of St. Louis passed away at her residence in St. Louis. Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton is in charge of arrangements. 52-year-old David Jett of Clinton passed away June 29th at Carl Foundation Hospital in Urbana. Arrangements for 52-year-old David Jett are incomplete at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWitt Daily.